Everyone. Welcome to this week's live. So you might have noticed if you're in the Terravilla North Theater right now, we did kind of switch up how we display the screen, and I got great feedback and negative feedback on it. So just let me know what you guys think. I know you can't close it at the moment. Maybe that's a deal breaker, but we were thinking something smaller that still allows you to interact with each other in the theater and, talk in the chat box, because the old setup was kind of like big and clunky and in the way. I could always put both options in there too, if maybe you guys would prefer that. So just let me know, because I can literally go at it right now if you want me to. But yeah, just let me know your feedback on that. there's a small energy boost in there too. So there is a portal set up in Terravilla Central right above the fountain. So you can get there really quick if you're not there yet. And yeah, today's live session is going to be a little bit more relaxed. We don't have a ton of information to throw at you. So if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'll bring them up as we see them. And yeah, keep it farmer friendly as always. And let me bring up Luke.
Hey, everybody. Super glad to be here. Yeah, this has been a good week for Pixels, and I'm starting to like breathe some sighs of relief. So yeah, we're finally able to start to move into the next stages of TGE. The airdrop, all that kind of stuff. It's been a brutal market over the last few months, as I know everybody knows. But I also don't know if everybody's actually seeing like the full extent of what the state of Web3 looks like right now. It's bad. It's brutal. It's tough. And like honest to God answer is like not many projects are going to survive over the next 6 months. So yeah, the fact that we are and the fact that we're moving on is very, very nice. And, we're excited to move on to the next stages too. I've gotten to have some interesting talks with some people over the last few weeks as well too, which has been, very reassuring and, very nice to have as well, just to like talk to people who have been in the space before and kind of listen to their journeys. We're in a very deep bear market right now, right? And crypto winters is when many companies go to die. That is the reality of like what's going to be happening with a lot of projects that got funded over the last 12 to 18 months. Typically when startups raise money, they raise about 18 months of runway, and we're at the point where we're about 18 months past when a lot of these initial Web3 startups or even these initial like NFT projects raised money. So it's a brutal market out there. Pixels has pulled it off. So give some props to the team, and we're going to give some props to you guys as well too, in terms of just being there. The fact that we have a community, the fact that we have an active player base, the fact that we have a game that people actually like and enjoy is a key part to this next stage of Pixels and like why we're able to continue to build and move forward in the bear market. It's a privilege that we get that unfortunately even a lot of really good projects in the space are not going to get. So yeah, I just want to note that and show some appreciation to all of you. So I mean, with that being said, that means we get to move on to the next stages, which means TGE and getting through all of that. So we're about to get some of this stuff finalized over the next couple of weeks, and we'll finally get a date. It's been a while, and I can't stress enough how excited the team is to get to these next stages. This is what we believe unlocks the next stage of what we're doing at Pixels. And we've been talking a lot about what the future of Pixels looks like, and what we're actually trying to create and make. And I keep telling this team that like what we need to be thinking about when we're thinking about future product and roadmap is we really need to be thinking about what Web3 actually brings to the table in terms of gaming, and we need to start to think about roadmap and direction with that in mind. It's really easy to go too hard on like one direction or the other, to like really only think about Web3 when we're thinking about future game mechanics. Like, I think to me, like we were fully focused on Web3, we would go fully with on-chain gaming. But if we were to focus fully on game development, we would also miss a lot of the actual opportunities that Web3 unlocks. Like to me, also, I think the wrong approach is to only think about game design and our future product roadmap in terms of building a good game and then just slapping NFTs on top, or slapping like interoperability on top. Like what we need to be thinking about and like what we're actually like working towards is what are the unique value props, or like what's the unique value proposition that Web3 unlocks? Like how does Web3 actually make gaming better for us, the company, and for you, the users? And these are the things that we're starting to experiment with. And this is what the Pixel token unlocks for us to actually play with. So we're super excited about the next stages of that. And, we've been dying to get that out too. So some good news in the back end. That means we're going to be able to move along to the next stages. It means Pixels won't die, which is also something that you should be celebrating too. And yeah, it's an exciting time for like the next couple weeks. So as we're wrapping things up, we'll get you guys dates. We'll get all that soon. And when we have a date, you guys will know. Like I keep saying this, but we'll get noisy. Don't worry about that. If I've proven anything to you guys is we can make some noise when we want to. It's all about timing though, right? If we had started, hyping up the token or hyping up all the things we're going to be doing a couple months ago, it would have been very bad timing. I know I'd have heard a million more When Pixels if we had started this marketing a bit too early. So, we have to
That's
be cautious with that as well.
awesome.
Not that I don't like the One Pixel. Love it, love it. Just keep commenting on my personal Twitter, One Pixel. Love that. That's what really gets me going every day. If I don't get One Pixel in the morning, I don't know what to do with my mornings anymore.
I'm gonna
I
start
feel,
texting you that every morning.
yeah, I feel lonely. So, yeah, I mean, send it to my mom, send it to my family, tell them One Pixel. No, please don't do that.
Um,
But yeah, we're really close to being there. Obviously, it's in our best interest to get this out as well too, because it unlocks the next stage of growth. And yeah, we've been digging a lot into like what that actually looks like. What's growth in Web3 look like? What's growth in Web2 gaming look like? And yeah, I've been like digging into with the team a lot lately too. Like how we have to be different in the Web2 gaming as well. I think Gabe from Limit Break has kind of laid out the traditional Web2 gaming playbook in terms of growth really, really, really well to his audience. Like Gabe from Limit Break, free owned guy, very noisy on Twitter. He raised 200 million to build out Digidaiku, and he is going more with the traditional Web2 gaming growth model, where he's going to have a game, he'll have some form of ownership with NFTs in it, which is really interesting. Like I think what he's doing is super smart, but really only he can pull it off. But yeah, they basically are going to spend about like 10 million on their product development, and then like 190 million of that 200 million on advertising and their go-to-market strategy. I mean, traditional Web2 gaming go-to-market strategy is just burn cash to make cash. It's all about like CAC to LTV, customer acquisition cost to lifetime value per user, and it's really just optimizing those funnels and flows. With us, we don't have the luxury of having to have raised 200 million. We did not raise that much, so we actually can't go with that strategy, which is an interesting forcing function for us because it makes us think more forward on what are the ways that we can use Web3 to grow an ecosystem, what are the ways that we can use community to grow an ecosystem, and how can we take full advantage of these opportunities that we have in front of us, given the community that we have, given the player base and the game that we have. So, that's the stuff that's interesting to us moving forward. And it defines our strategy and defines our product roadmap and what our priorities are way differently in a game like that. It really means that what we have to do is we have to innovate in Web3 more than potentially other companies would, because we don't have that Web2 fallback plan. Honestly, we can't go into the free to play market if we wanted to and just say, hey, we're abandoning Web3, because we don't have the budget for the user acquisition, the things that in the same way that those other companies do. So, I mean, I love the pressure. I love the forcing function of knowing that we have to go in this direction and find a way to make it happen, because I do think there is a route. And it's interesting. I tweeted the other day about how, I have been talking to a bunch of other Web3 gaming studios who, have basically been abandoning Web3 altogether. If you guys haven't noticed, the One Pixels, all of that kind of stuff, it puts a lot of pressure on founders. And a lot of people are like leaving Web3 gaming altogether because they're seeing less of the value out, they're seeing less of the point. I'm still extremely bullish on what Web3 gaming unlocks, because we've seen what it can do. We grew like 600,000 users in a month and a half with no ad spend because of Web3 incentives. We have like a super active community. We have like pretty good retention in our gaming ecosystem, especially when we're doing events like Tastemakers and all that, because of incentive design, because of interoperability. Like we've seen like interesting, unique gameplay form through interoperability, and we've seen like really impressive UGC from all of you because of this like shared incentive as well. So to us, we see a ton of potential in Web3 gaming. We're here for it. But also it's going to be like this snaky route to find product market fit in Web3 gaming over the next year and a half. And that means we have to, take some swings. We have to try some stuff. Some of the stuff that we try might not work. Some of the stuff we might have to go back on. And it's going to be like an interesting experiment that you guys are all here for with us. But yeah, I'm super excited to get to the next stage when it comes to our token, when it comes to all of that, because that's when we actually get to really iterate and really experiment with what the value add in Web3 is. I think we're going to get to prove it to people as well too. It's interesting because we're getting pretty contrarian to some of the rest of the space too now. And I'm talking to a lot of Web3 gaming. Well, I'm seeing a lot of Web3 gaming founders. There's not that many left, to be completely honest. But I'm talking to other Web3 gaming founders of companies that you guys know, and like the OGs in the space too. And there are some people who have the same opinion as us, and it's pretty cool. Like it's honestly the OGs in the space who have been through these market cycles before, who have really been there and done that kind of have the same opinions as us. And it's the people who just entering the market and now are quickly leaving that have differing opinions. But I mean, there's elements of Web3 gaming that I think we've seen attract users in the past that didn't quite work in the ways that people wanted to. Like I think Axie Infinity is a great example of a game who got some things right and some things wrong in their initial growth strategy. But it's interesting because I think people are counting them out in a way that I think is kind of silly, in the future as well too, where I think Axie Infinity, they onboard millions and millions of users. I think they had like hundreds of thousands of DAU at one point. I think they might have crossed the million DAU mark. Those are serious gaming numbers that not many game studios ever hit. And typically, like to get those numbers of daily active users, there needs to be millions of dollars of ad spend into the game. Axie Infinity didn't do that. There's really, really interesting stuff in this kind of market in this area where maybe a slightly different implementation could have worked. All that to say is I think some element of what they did will work in a different setting with maybe a different, better base game, all of that kind of stuff. And there's tons of lessons that we can learn from them. And they haven't abandoned their previous strategies, what I'll say as well. It's really inspiring to watch them. And that's kind of a direction that we're thinking about as well too. So yeah, I want to give a shout out to that team. I would say don't count them out. And I would also say, as you're in the bear market, maybe take a look at projects who have already survived one, because there might be something that you can learn from them. And that's exactly what we're doing as we're looking at next steps. Really, looking at these cycles, what we can learn from teams who have made it out and through the next stage before, and then get to the next stage as well too. So yeah, I mean, all that to say, rant over pretty soon. Some good news on the back end. I think we're getting much, much closer to getting a date for the Pixel TGE. We're dying for it. We really want it out soon too. And there's some really interesting stuff that's going to be coming out next.
All right. Let's hop into some questions. So we've got a few here already, but if you have any questions you want to ask us, just throw them into the YouTube live chat and we'll pull them up accordingly. All right. The infamous when.
Yeah, I really appreciate the note H. It does feel friendlier when it's like
weird when you put the H in it now.
No, if you send it to me, I'm not responding to anything that has an H in it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so the reason that is we're like one more step along. There's a lot of stuff in the back end that has been going pretty well with that. Yeah, brutal market for all of this. So just note that too. There's a reason there's not many tokens getting listed lately. I want you to look at all of the Launchpad listings over the last 6 months on all of these places. There's not many. So yeah, we're doing decent with that is what I can say. I really can't leak any more information. Stuff with this, if I leak, it's actually a deal killer. Just note that. But yeah, we're pretty excited with the next stages. And all I can say is one piece unlocked in the back end. So we're getting close, and we'll give you the date. And again, when we get the date, we won't shut up about it. I'm so excited. Just like a weight off my shoulder when that's out. But yeah, what I can confidently say is, we're going to make it to that date. We'll be fine. We have runway now. And yeah, Pixel's coming.
All right. Today, new update. No, there's no update happening today. Today's gonna just be a chill hangout day. Next week there should be an update though. Okay, when spiders upgrade to slugs. So right now there isn't a use in the game for spiders. So this is a great idea. I actually really like it. Please throw it in Canny. This is my intro to talk about Canny again. So we've just re-implemented a system. We did use it in the past, moved away from it. Now we're going back to it. So hopefully it is successful this time around. And it is basically a system where you can put in either you've noticed a bug, or what we really want it for is feature requests. So this would be a feature request. So what you can do is you can write the feature requests and then other people can up or downvote it. So can they downvote it? Yeah, they can, right?
Yeah, they can.
I only ever pay attention to the upvoting section. So blanking there. Anyways, you can go and upvote like, oh, maybe you really want everyone wants this one feature, right? So you want to make it loud for us to see it, right? So how to get there, go to our help center and it's linked in the top. And yeah, write it in there and then maybe other people will upvote it and over time we can prioritize it and get it in. All right.
Here, I'm pulling this one up. So if pets/pixel are delayed, we need some content such updates to bridge until then. Game was stagnant 3 weeks ago, even more now. I would have to generally say I agree with you. I will say, Pixel is actually getting delayed more than we initially thought. We really thought we were going to be decent in June, but yeah, things just changed and like moved along a little bit. So we'll get the date out soon. But I agree, we really, really wanted this out. So there is like a bit of a content gap that is a bit painful just for our own internal team as well too, where we're thinking about like other things as well. I will say we have one promotion prep that should last a decent amount of time. It's already ready. We're just kind of figuring out when we want to release it. And we're working with another team to do that as well. It's pretty cool what we have planned for that. It's a free-to-play game loop. It's built around other IP. It's pretty unique in the space of what we're doing. And that's all I want to leak on that. But we do have like a big content thing prepped. It should have like a unique prize pool, kind of similar to what we did with Tastemakers as well, say. So there is something that we have already built ready. It's just like figuring out the release date for that one and then the prize pool and prize structure.
Okay, this person asked this at the beginning. I don't understand the question. When liquidity for fiber, eggs, and honey of one berry like iron ore?
Yeah, so what some games do is
like people selling these items?
I think they want us to buy them in the store.
Oh,
or other things like that, or buy them off the marketplace. MapleStory had a really interesting game mechanic with that, where you could sell items in the marketplace, but they would also guarantee a price floor, and they would also have a price ceiling. So they kind of fixed both of them. Interesting way that they did that.
They're asking when. No immediate plans to do so.
Yeah, this is something that we have to look into, like game economy, but it's Barry in terms of like burn and supply circulation is doing all right when there's not botting in the game right now. So we've gotten decent at bot detection at this point. What's interesting is what we might start doing is let me just leak this. I don't care. Look at our numbers. I've leaked all of our decks anyways. We have mixed panels where we look at all of these metrics of the game that we have. And one of the things that we look at a lot is bot detection, prevention. This is something that I've been debating. It's like, okay, do we start to put this do we start to make this public data? I actually think like making this entire dashboard public is potentially something that's interesting. Since some of our data is on chain, some of our data is off chain, this would be a way to get that transparency of having the on chain data without like necessarily being on chain. And I think Pirate Nation is doing something similar to that, where they have a mix of like on chain and off chain analytics, and they've just made some of their analytics public, even if it's off chain. I think they're using a product called Helica to do that, which that's interesting. So if that's valuable to people, like for example, we're missing some like transparency around marketplace volume, but then there was that like Pixel's lookup tool, right, that has liquidity of all the in-game items. So like right now our marketplace data is like technically like off chain. Like there is potential for an on-chain backup if we want to turn that back on. That's something that we could just give like the off-chain analytics for, and we kind of get the same end effect. So let us know if that's something that's interesting to you guys. I'm like more than open to it if it makes sense to release it. At the end of the day, like we're not trying to hide any data. Like we're building in public, we're building with all of you guys. And if there's a certain metric that's not good, then like we want to fix it and make it better as well. There's no reason for us to hide any metrics.
Luke mentioned Pixel's lookup. We just tweeted about it because it's such a cool feature. Go check it out. It's just fun to look at, to see all of the like in-game market information and data and all graphed and everything. It's fun. It's cool. Okay, Luke, why are you so serious?
I gotta make stuff happen. Okay, I will relax when the TGE is over. Okay, I don't have time to have fun right now. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, yeah, I mean, this is serious stuff, right? Like making sure the next stages happen. There's a lot of pressure on it, and pressure is not a bad thing, right? Like I think this is a season of my life where there should be pressure, right? To like make sure all this happens. Like there's a lot of people who have interest here. We have investors, like legitimate investors who have poured millions of dollars into this project. We have landowners. We have people who are playing the game every single day. We have like people in the community. Like there's a lot of people who are in this project and like want to do well, want to succeed, and I'm taking this very seriously. There is some elements of that. So my focus is making sure like one, there's no issue in us surviving through a bear market. Two, that we have like a nice token launch, and we get the best partners that we can for it. And then three, like making sure the game is fun and good for all of you guys too, and that we're providing the best gameplay experience. So once I start to achieve all of that, I can breathe and relax. I'll probably spend like a week in a Vespasian. I want to spend a week in monk mode in Nepal, in the mountain, not talking to anybody, or just like.
I think you're exaggerating, but he's not. He will literally go do that. So
yeah.
Okay. Will there be a pixel multiplier for VIP holders?
That's a huge part of the VIP coming up. How transparent do I want to get? I think this is cool. I might just share this. I don't care. I don't want to share everything, to be honest. But
don't share the whole page then. Just take a screenshot of something. New tab.
Actually, there's a number in here I can't leak. Well, I can if I make it ridiculous. Yeah, there we go. Oh, 1 second. Let me fix one more number. Okay, I think I can share this now.
That's really funny. If I do, that's really funny. It's like a subconscious, oh gosh, what's going on?
Okay. This is technical. I'll explain what we're thinking with VIP here and what we're thinking about like long-term revenue strategies. This is extremely transparent. I want to call this one out. So yeah, I don't think you're going to get this level of transparency from anything else, but I think it's just interesting to see how we're approaching like monetization, like how we actually build out like long-term cash flows so that Pixels can remain open indefinitely, so that we can pay employees to build out the game, all that kind of stuff. Like long-term cash flows, revenue streams is extremely important for any project. Like this is something you should be thinking about. This is very interesting that I'm sharing this. I just want to call that out also though. But what we're thinking about with the token and like VIP in general too is effectively what VIP is VIP is a battle pass. It works the same exact way. Where like this VIP benefit that you get right now, it unlocks certain opportunities in the game to have a better game experience, right? And I think one of the games that has done a battle pass very effectively is Clash of Clans. And it's interesting like to see the revenue lift from Clash of Clans when they introduced the battle pass too. Essentially, the battle pass in Clash of Clans operates is that players are able to like earn more gold in game when they have the battle pass. It unlocks like extra quest, extra like options to earn the gold in Clash of Clans, and that's kind of how we're viewing VIP as well, where for example, there is like a certain allocation of pixel that we get to release every single month for rewards, and the interesting thing is we can create like a very strong funnel to VIP if there is extra ways to earn the pixel token if you only have VIP. So we can set aside a particular like allocation or pool of the pixel token just for VIP members. So if we're looking at their stats right now, I think we've sold like 800 VIP passes. It's not a ton compared to our monthly active user base. Effectively, we've sold like 1% of our user base of VIP pass for our monthly active users. A game like Clash of Clans is like 18%. And they've basically optimized that funnel in a way that um, like you just basically can't unless you have like a team of like data scientists looking at it. So like that's basically like ceiling of like monetization funnel. But that is to say that our we have a lot of room to grow into that percent of the user base that we like have a value pass around or a battle pass used for. And one of the things is like, okay, well, our percent is probably low because there's not enough uses for VIP right now. And if we make VIP more useful, then there's a more compelling reason for people to actually get it. So one of the easiest things we can do is think about it through the Pixels earnings lens, and provide like more opportunities to, earn Pixel through things like daily quest, or weekly quest for just VIP members. And that's kind of the way that we're thinking about it, essentially building a funnel from this token to, making it worth it to get VIP. So, that's the way that we view it. And it's a really interesting harmony because it creates a good incentive structure for us to keep the Pixel ecosystem healthy, because it helps us, build out more revenue for this VIP membership area. And the whole kind of thesis here is, the more worth it the battle pass is, then the more of them that we're going to sell, obviously. So it creates a good harmony between token and equity business, where there's no value accrual going to the token. Like this revenue is not shared with the token directly, but we have an incentive to make sure the ecosystem is healthy because it helps the equity business at Pixels, build out these cash flows that we need to survive.
Okay. Let's see. Maybe we can get some kind of referral program for player acquisition.
Yeah, it's 100% happening. And that's what we're super excited about. That was one of the reasons. So in October, when we started doing like all this growth hacking, and like when a lot of you guys got, I'm looking at all of our analytics. Competitors come in, look at our stuff. I don't care, because I know what we do is unique. We move faster than any other team in the space. Like I'm totally comfortable leaking any analytics. But yeah, let me pull up our growth from a certain date, and I'll just show you guys what we're talking about. November. Here, it's going to take me a second to pull it up. 1st of September, 2022. To 1st of November, 2022. Okay. Yeah, so we experimented a lot with K-factor optimization in September and October. We went from like 2,000 weekly active users or daily active users to like, I think we peaked at like 45,000 DAU. And we got like 560,000 users in just the span of like a month and a half to 2 months through this. So like the way that games grow, like there's two ways, right? Like growth is a mix of focusing on retention and a mix of focusing on like new user acquisition, right? So retention is like a key part of the growth, but also something called a K factor is a key part of the growth too. And a K factor is basically a measurement of, for one given user, how many users are they likely to bring into the game? And typically a game has a K factor of like 0.1. Like, so for every 10 users, like one user brings a new user in, and that's fine. You don't expect everybody to share the game, and that's like normal. The higher you get the K factor, the more interesting things become. If you have a K factor of 1, that's technically, or just above 1, that's technically unlimited growth. If your K factor was like 1.1, that means for every new user that you bring in, they bring in 1.1 new users. So that's like, one new user, one new user, one new user, one new user. It should be like infinite growth until you hit like total market TAM, like the total addressable market, which I actually think we got quite close to that in that month, 2 month span where, they're saying there's like, 800,000 monthly active gaming wallets. We had 560,000 unique people in that month and a half span through this. And that was because our K factor was crazy high through things like this referral program, through things like sharing to Twitter. And this is the kind of stuff we're going to be focusing on when the Pixel token's out. And this is what we're super interested in, essentially. And when I say like token driven growth, this is the kind of stuff that we are most interested in. Like, can we recreate the magic that we had over that 2 month span in an indefinite way through good incentive design, through thinking about this like end focus of all of these metrics that we're trying to optimize. And this to me is like one of the powerful things about Web3 that we're really interested in.
Okay. And apparently during that, I looked really serious, like I was like mad or something. I'm sorry. I was honestly reading like a completely different message about something that was going on. So I'm so sorry. I'm happy. I'm fine. I'm not mad. Okay. Let's see other questions here. Galactic Grills leaks, upcoming update. So we were asked this, I think, last week or the week before, and all we can say is what we've said in the past is that there are things coming for that. Obviously, the galactic version of the grill will be the best one to make the best things for the other things that you will want to make.
Yeah, I mean, this is all bundled in with Pets and Pixel, is what we can say. Yeah, that utility will come on the same day.
Okay. So talking about giving the 20,000 snapshot players something and then like a bonus for active players.
Yeah, so when we have Pixel out, there'll be rewards for active players, the day that we do it. And that's kind of the whole point. Like this dashboard you see with like the berry rewards for daily login, like there'll be stuff like that with Pixel the first day you play.
Okay. Can we get the billboard back in Terravilla with suggestions link? I think we can do that. We'll integrate it somehow within Terravilla, and it will link to Canny instead of just like the form that we had before. So it might be a little different. It might take you out of the game and over to Canny, but we could think about linking that in game somewhere. Will the release of Pixel have a big impact on the berry coin rate, worse or better?
Yeah, it's hard to say. One thing that we think about a lot is like there's soft currency, hard currency. Berry is a soft currency, and like the point is like it shouldn't be taken. The hard currency shouldn't be taken away from the soft currency. So I can't make any statements on like price action or anything like that. All I can make statements on, and all I am caring about when I'm thinking about this kind of stuff is like, is this going to be taking away from like the utility of berry? And the answer is no. Like what we need to do for Pixel is we need to add on utility that uniquely uses Pixel and is something that is uniquely different. Because if we make berry less useful, that is ruining the funnel towards Pixel. Like we need to keep berry interesting to like want to earn in the game, and like we need to have enough uses in order to actually build that funnel towards Pixel. Like to me, it's all a game of funnels where you come into the game because of whatever reason. Like how can we keep you in the game longer? And truthfully, how can we keep you in the game longer, and how can we get you to want Pixel? We don't think Pixel will be something that users want on their very first day in the game. We think it's something that we have to like ease them into to like want to get further through the game or get these premium upgrades in a very similar way to like how any free to play game monetizes. So in order to do that, we need to have like the berry economy actually be balanced and feel good, and we need you to want to progress through it and have sufficient time to progress too. Like one thing that could potentially ruin the progression is like, okay, if we make it too easy to buy berry and just like shortcut your way through all the progression, like are you going to stay in the game long enough and retain long enough in order to actually get to the other end goals that we want?
Okay. How do you guys deal with our impatience? Okay, so this is an interesting question with a ton of answers. My first gut response is that you're talking about the release, the Pixel release, TGE, all of that kind of stuff. And we are fully aware that it has been delayed and that we have said several times it's going to come at some point, and we've well past those dates. We're fully aware. So we completely understand why you would feel impatient about this and express that to us. So from that perspective, obviously we're not like I don't know, we're not like upset. I mean, we're upset that it's been pushed. Obviously, we have like huge stake in this too. We want it to be successful, and we would love to give you a date. Like if we could tell you a date right now, we would. So it's not that we're upset about your impatience at all. There's another
I
side.
understand it. I get it, honestly.
Yeah, we get it. Totally. The other side of this, though, is like if you're talking about impatience, where you guys decide you really, really want a feature, and unfortunately, the development team, it's just not a priority for them, and you keep bugging me personally in Discord for it, then sometimes
Don't
I
be
get a
mean.
little
That's the only thing.
irritated.
Just be
But
mean.
otherwise, we love to hear your ideas. We really do. So yeah, it's totally fine. We completely understand. Like we totally get it. So
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I hope there's some trust from our
yeah.
community where it's like, we're working hard, like, we're doing everything we can, and yeah, I mean, we're here every single week, even if it's like a painful thing, sometimes where it's like, oh, I'm just gonna have to answer one pixel 100 times, but I gotta do it if I gotta do it. So yeah, I mean, be nice, but I mean, impatience isn't a
Farmer
bad thing.
friendly.
That means that you're excited for the next stuff, and that's exciting to us too. So if you frame it in a nice way, maybe we'll work even harder. Maybe we'll get it out even sooner.
Is that
Frame it in
possible?
a mean way, maybe we'll just leave Web3. I'm just kidding. But
No, but you're right. Like, just as long as you guys are like friendly with it, we completely agree and understand, and we're here to support you. And like Luke said, it means that you're excited and invested in Pixels with us, so it's a good thing. Okay. Let's see. Can we get double XP events and quests? Lots of things will be coming. Lots of things. Key to success update. I don't have any information on that at the moment. Can we expect Launchpad, like Binance or OKX, a little allocation to buy for early players?
I actually can't answer this question. I'm really sorry. There is like a level of confidentiality I need to keep when we're talking about all of this discussions. But yeah, that's actually all I can say right now.
Okay, and we don't have a lot more questions to answer. So if you have any last minute questions, throw them in the YouTube live chat right now.
This is a good one.
Will Pixels focus on Web2 gamers in their marketing campaign?
Yeah, I actually don't personally. I don't think this is the right approach in the short term. I think in the long term, yes. But in the short term, I don't think that's the right approach. So focusing on Web2 gamers, that means spending millions in ads. And that's how Web2 games attract users. There's no organic marketing in Web2 gaming, besides like the very rare indie game that has like a one-time purchase. Like there's some indie games that have done all right, off of just like a couple developers through organic interesting marketing. Those have all been single player Steam games. Like Survivors.io did well. That's a mobile game. They have App Store distribution. Um, Vampire Survivors, Stardew Valley, like the game I love most. Like those are indie success stories. But the difference is this model, the free to play model, this is not really one that works in that same organic marketing way. So yeah, Web2 gaming acquisition is typically a cash burn, which is something that eventually we'll probably have to do. But we're more interested in like the Web3 organic marketing, and I think there's a large enough market right now where we can capture most of it. Like we already are capturing a large market share of Web3 gamers, without really even doing marketing in Web3 gaming. I know if we push it a bit further, we can capture larger market share. It's large enough for the short term. And as we're trying to expand even larger, then like I think the next stage is onboarding Web3 users. Like users. I think Coinbase is the perfect example of a company who has a lot of Web3 users who are already onboarded into Web3. You don't need to convince them about Web3. You don't have to like go through all the wallet onboarding. They might already even have a wallet. They just haven't played Web3 games yet because the Web3 games haven't been interesting enough to them. I think that's the next target demographic that we want to be going after. And then Web2. So it's essentially like, every single time that we step it up, customer acquisition cost is going to increase essentially, because we have to fight against the grain a little bit more. So like easiest people to onboard, Web3 gamers, next easiest Web3 casuals, next easiest Web2 gamers, next easiest Web2 casuals. And it kind of goes in that order.
Okay. I think that's the last question we have for today. So we can keep this one a bit shorter than usual. I will keep the energy booster in the theater for the next 15 minutes, though, so you can still benefit from that a little bit. But yeah, thanks for all of your questions today.
Send all
Really,
of our data to our competitors to scare them. Our numbers are good. Yeah, just tag them. What's your retention? What's your engagement? Scare them a bit. Um,
yeah, go for it. Go do that. All
hey,
right.
Gabe, where's your game?
Oh man. All right. Yeah, thanks for everyone. Thanks. Sorry. I'm like out of I can't even think now. Okay. Thank you all for coming out. Great questions today. Energy booster until the end of the hour. So you're good in the theater. And we will see you next week. Bye guys.
All right, bye, guys.